Let's go ahead and bring up Jennifer from Gray and Glowing to give her testimony of, how vision boarding has literally helped her bring her entire reality, turn it into a. Let's just bring her up. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer, hello. Let's give you the floor.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
So, vision boarding. I am 45 years old. I've been doing vision boards since I was 20. And I can honestly say that they have changed my life, literally. I will say this, just because you do a vision board does not mean everything you put on that vision board is going to come to pass when you want it to. And what I mean by that is I had stuff on my vision board when I was in my 30s that I didn't get until I was in my 40s. So with that being said, a vision board is a tool, like you kept saying, Sydney, and it actually is supposed to spark something in you. If you put a picture on your vision board and it does not have an emotion behind it, a feeling behind it, it will not work. It is literally feelings that is going to create what you want to manifest. So let's take it back to when you were a child. I don't know if you had good imaginations and you could sit in your room and play for hours with your dolls and you would just pretend you were the princess in the palace, or you were Barbie and you had Ken. You were very engulfed in that moment, and that evoked a different types of emotions in you. So almost when you are creating your vision board, you have to remember to have a great imagination. All I can say is if you want to really manifest something, it has to be a feeling. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So just a little bit about myself. I'm 45, like I mentioned before, and recently, within the last 5 years, I manifested the love of my life, who literally changed my entire world. Before him, I manifested the home that I bought for me and my daughter, which was a townhome. And I can honestly tell you that this particular home that I wanted to buy had 3 other people in front of me. We were on a list. And I was like, I have to get this home. There's no other option. I have to move out of my parents' home that I was living in. And I was like, I want this home. But there was 3 people in front of me. So what I did was I grabbed the brochures, I grabbed the pictures of the home, the floor plan, everything about the home. I posted those pictures on my closet door. It wasn't even on a vision board. It was on my closet door. And it was a room that my daughter and I shared. And so I told my daughter, I said, Kennedy, I need you to act like this is your house. I want you to visualize yourself playing in your room, what colors you want on the wall, how we're going to visualize our entire furniture, everything. And I was teaching her to do that because I needed her energy to help manifest this home. And I needed my energy to help manifest this home. Now, mind you, there was 3 people ahead of me. One by one, they start falling off until the one day I got the call and they said, listen, you now have the home as long as you qualify, all that good stuff. But I needed to get through those 3 people in order to even have a chance to qualify for the home. And it worked. It happened. And it was because I put my intention behind, I want this home, I'm going to have this home, and I'm going to act like I have this home. And that's exactly what I did. And it came to pass. And it was a new development. So it took about 9 months for completion, but it was 9 months of manifesting, prayer, meditation, and just literally believing I was going to have this house.
So I just feel like that was so powerful. And I know I probably sound all dramatic when I say that, but
no, it is.
I think the most inspiring stories for me are the people that didn't have this glamorous story. You literally took the pictures and you put them on a closet door. You didn't have to go out and source 10,000 magazines. You didn't have to put the glitter and the glue and have all these people. You literally, that just goes to show you it's the intent. And like you said, you taught your daughter to also come in and agree with you literally to bring that into fruition.
It's all about energy, you guys, honestly. And yes, the glitter and the star, and I did those before too. Don't get me wrong. I've manifested my life from my teenage years all the way up until I'm 45. And I've done everything that you're talking about. But I knew in this particular situation, I was in a situation, I was a single mother. There were certain things that I needed to accomplish. My mindset wasn't make everything pretty. My mindset was, we need to move into this home. And that was my only focus. So when I got into that home, then came the, okay, we're going to do another vision board. And I added the glitter and the stars and made it all pretty. But I always knew how to manifest. And it wasn't ever a vision board that allowed me to manifest, if that makes sense. I just knew how to imagine in my mind. I could picture it in my mind and feel it in my gut is what allowed me to manifest before I even knew what it was. So when I tell you that I was able to do this in my teens, I could literally picture what I wanted and feel that I already had it, and I would get it. And I didn't know what that was called until later into my 20s. Then I was like, oh my God, I was manifesting, because there was a point where I did lose it. You know, I was in a space where high anxiety, depression, and I just could not grasp how to imagine anymore. Like I couldn't, it was in a black hole. So I couldn't remember the joy, the love, the fun, the excitement. And I was stuck in a space that would not allow me to manifest. And so I say that vision boards work and help if you are stuck in a place where you cannot just imagine in your mind. That's where the vision boards come into place. That's where the tools come into place. And a lot of us are stuck right now. A lot of us are under high stress. COVID, I mean, people are losing their jobs. You don't know if you're going to stay healthy. So a lot of times you can't keep your mind in that imaginative state because you have all that other excess worry in the back. So this is when a vision board will come into place. And what you do then is you post your vision board by your bed every night before you go to sleep. You run down your pictures and you visualize. If you're putting on your board a new car, how does that new car smell? How does it feel when you're driving down the street? Where do you want to pull up? How does that make you feel? How does that car on that vision board make you feel? Or how does that picture of that, the outfit or the purse or the house or whatever it is you're trying to manifest, how does it make you feel? And can you hold that feeling for longer than 2 or 3 minutes? Because if you can, you're on your way to manifesting and you're on your way to making it come to fruition.
So I just feel like you always come with the bangers. And it's funny because I just know how you are, like, oh, I don't know how to put it. But you don't need, and again, like, this is an example of, I call it self-actualization or self-mastery. When you have a certain knowledge of self, you don't have to have all the fancy talks and preparations and stuff. You just, you know what I'm saying? You got it. You don't need all the extra stuff. Some people do. And like you said, in different seasons, we might need those things. But like when you said that when you were a teenager, you were always using visualization and things to bring about the reality you wanted. It reminds me of when, ever since I was a really little kid, like 3, just maybe due to me being the only child for one, I had that same experience, just always in my head, always imagining things, um, in many different ways, in a good and a bad way. Like, just to give you an example of a bad way of kind of like, I don't think this was visualization, but this was more just being so in touch. I remember we were having a barbecue and I had a really big bag of flaming hot Cheetos and I hadn't opened it yet. But everybody was like all the adults were like, Sydney, can we have some of your hot Cheetos or whatever? And they took it downstairs. And for some reason, I had this, literally, like, this vision pop up of a, I know this sounds crazy, of a bug being at the end of that bag. But I didn't know no better. I'm like, well, that's a random thought. I kid you not, when I got to the bottom of that bag, it was a huge water bug in the bottom. So
Yep.
it's crazy to me how you said, what it kind of reminds me of is this need for us to all go back with our inner child, to our
Yep.
inner child, because
Yep.
everybody has, like you said, you didn't know a name for manifestation, but of course they have to give everything a name to get us like corporatized and buying all this stuff and these
Yep.
crystals, all this stuff. And it takes us away from that knowledge of self, because I believe all children have these abilities. It's just like through the world and conditioning, we're like trained to be so out of touch.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I agree. I agree exactly with what you're saying. And we are. And that's why I try to teach my daughter to always visualize what you want, feel it how you want it. And I'm going to be honest, when I was a teenager, I was always visualizing the boyfriend that I wanted. And so, you picture, oh, him taking you out on a first date. Oh, how would it be for this? But I would always get the person that I wanted by
Right.
doing that. So, but if you can if you could literally just keep it in your mind's eye and feel it, I promise you it will come to you. And by the time it comes to you, sometimes you don't even want it anymore. But it's just like a game. It'll start to be a game for you. You'll be like, oh, let me see if I could just get that. And you'll just start manifesting. Once you're on a roll, you're really going to be on a roll and you're going to do it. But then sometimes you're not, because now your energy is not aligning with what you're telling the universe what you want. Your energy doesn't match up. Yeah, I want that, but I'm walking around angry and mad. So that doesn't work. And it all goes back to self.
Right. And that's what I was going to ask you. Oops. Is about being a match for what it is you're trying to attract. Because a very simple example to that, or a very simple example of that, is everybody seems to want to get fit in the beginning of the year. Everybody puts that on their vision board, but they're not necessarily a match. They haven't changed their mindset. They haven't changed their habits. So can you talk a little bit more about that, like being a match for what it is you're trying to attract?
Yes. So listen, I wanted to manifest love. And I knew I couldn't do that until I actually worked on myself. Mm-hmm. There was things and people that I was attracting into my life that was not the love that I was looking for. But I was attracting them because I was putting out that kind of energy. So I needed to understand what energy I was putting out to figure out why I was bringing in people who didn't want to commit, who wanted to lie, who wanted to use me. So I literally had to stop, take a break, do a self-check and say, okay, what is it that I'm doing? And this was even going back and asking exes or people that I dated, what's going on with me? Why did you feel the need to do this to me? And hopefully it would give me an honest answer, which a lot of them did. So that helped in my discovery in myself to realize, okay, what I'm putting out there isn't going to attract what I really want. So I need to change that. And that's what I did. And when I started to make those changes, the universe brought me who I was matched with. And that actually turned out to be the guy that I'm married to now. So he was my perfect match, but he was also dealing with some issues and working on himself. So we were kind of brought together at the perfect timing.
You've manifested all of the material things that you could ever dream of. And now you were basically telling me like you're on a whole new quest. And it reminded me that life is like, it's not a sprint, but a marathon. There's always going to be something. It's not really a destination, but a journey.
Yeah. So what I'm learning right now about myself is I was always the type of person like, oh, once I get this dream job, I'll be happy and I can like finally start living my life. Oh, once I get this dream man, I'll be so happy and I could finally start living my life. Even when I got my townhome, for me and my daughter, I was like, this is it. I have a great job. I have a home and I'm still not happy. Like, happiness is so fleeting when it is based on something that is material, almost something that's tangible. I hate to say that. For me now, my journey and what I want to manifest is complete peace, spirituality, and good health. I've manifested the love. I've manifested the material items. I have a beautiful home. I drive beautiful cars. Anything I could possibly want, I can have. I can go on any vacation anywhere I want in the world. I mean, other than with COVID going on, money is not an issue. So now it's not, okay, I got to save up and get this. We've taken that off the table. We've taken the major things that most people want in life: a husband, a wife, children, house, cars. All of that's been taken off the table for me. I already have it. So now there's still a not complete piece with me. And so now my search is, what is that that's going to give me eternal joy? And it honestly can't come from something that's outside of. It's going to come from inside. So that's my search right now. And that's what I'm trying to manifest now, is just the enlightenment, the peace, the knowing. And on top of that, health, having good health. I mean, especially with COVID going on and people getting it out of nowhere, and they're terribly sick and people are dying, and and cancer being at an all-time high with all kinds of, different types of cancers. I want to control my emotions to the point where I don't ever have to worry about getting any sort of disease that will take me out. So for me, my goal now is spirituality, peace of mind, and all the way good health. That's what I want to manifest. And good health or mental health has been the hardest thing for me to manifest. And I've been trying to do that since I was 26 years old.
Wow. And I think that's a very powerful statement, because we haven't even started actually creating our boards yet. But coming from somebody who, if we looked at you, and by the way, I didn't even give you an opportunity to introduce your new blog, but Jennifer is actually a new blogger. And, as she becomes more active, we'll start to see her lifestyle. And some people will look at you and envy you and start downing themselves and stuff. But the fact is, all of us are on that journey of reaching, like you said, that peace and things like that. Like, nobody has it all. It's a journey. Like you always tell me, life is an ebb and flow. So I feel like that's a really balanced perspective to bring to this conversation. Like, as we start looking at all the pictures and the glam, and we think about the money and all the superficial stuff, there's other aspects we should tend to as well.
Yes, definitely. I was that person. I wanted the life of the Kardashians. You know what I mean? Like, once I get that life, how could they be miserable? You know what I mean? How could anybody be sad? You have all the money in the world. You could do whatever you want in the world. Trust me, you can still be sad. You can have everything and still not be happy, because the happiness has to come within yourself. And I know that sounds so crazy when you're like, I can't even pay my bills. I'll be so happy when I just know I can pay all my bills. Yes, you will. But that happiness, again, will be fleeting. Once you get to that level, you're like, okay, now what's next? When you're creating your vision boards, I just want you to do it with great intention. And again, every picture that you put on your board, if it does not evoke something inside you, if you don't get some sort of feeling, don't put it on your board. It's a waste, because you're not going to attract it. It literally has to make you feel a certain kind of way.
Like, it literally has to
resonate 100%. And like you were saying, people put it on there because they think they're supposed to. Put exactly what you want. And if it's just one thing, put that one thing.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
What if there is, can you put too much stuff on your vision board? What if I'm just going to speak personally for me. Personally, for me, I feel like I see multiple different paths, like probably like minimum 5 or 6 paths I could take. And I don't know which one to settle on or, detail. I just have too many thoughts in my head, too many visions. Don't know what to settle down on. I completely understand and agree with, you need the vision and the intent and the emotion behind it to get that thing. And I have my own problem with creating the mind's eye vision, which is why I understand the importance of getting it on paper. But I have so many options or possibilities, or it's endless, to the fact that I don't know what to put on my vision board. Do I put what I want? Do I put what I should do? Do I put what, that's my problem. Like, it's infinite.
No, Hey, it sounds good though, because at least you have a bunch of stuff that you want to try to manifest, where some people don't even have anything. They're like, well, I don't know. I mean, so I'm glad to hear that you have too much stuff you want to put on there. Where I would start with you is I would pick the top two things. And here again, I don't know you, and I don't know what the feeling is. So when you're going to put that one thing on that vision board, how does it make you feel? Give me an example of one thing that you're contemplating putting on there.
Well, it's more of I'm in this stage of my life right now. I'm in school right now. Like I'm a neuroscience major, psychology major, music minor at UGA, whatever. I'm doing that. I'm just doing multiple things right now. I skate, I play violin. I know I could. I don't have like a career or job or any income yet. So my whole thing is 2021. I want to start getting more stable in myself and, being more independent and not relying on my family or parents and having my own income. And I'm not sure, should I dive into the school thing and keep doing that? I'm not really into it. My other artistic fields, there's just so many options. I don't know which one to buckle down on and try to put my energy into to manifest, because I believe I could do any of them. I just don't know which one I should do. So I don't want to, manifest 20,000 things and, become a master of none, essentially, is my problem. Yes.
So can I ask how old you are?
I just turned 23.
23. Mm-hmm. You're like my daughter's 18, and she's just like all over the place. She wants to do everything. Yes. So all I can say is, because I was like that, it's like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this. Almost like Sydney. Sydney's like all over the place too. And I just tell her to enjoy the journey. Why can't you do them all? And did you kind of say you could do the school thing, but you're not really into it?
No, I could do them all, but I'm in school right now. My parents, I'm grateful enough and lucky enough for my parents to be able to provide for me. I'm on campus living with roommates. So, but I can't, I need to make my own money so that they're not providing for me, and I can do my own thing, so that if I want to have my own, because I skate, I have a skating page, I play violin, I could start making music, I could keep doing my production where I'm making music videos, I could go into, my family, I could go into like film production, I could go into psychology, what I'm doing right now, more research. There's just so many options. I understand, I feel like my purpose in giving back, but I just don't understand what I'm supposed to put on this board.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're passionate about a lot of things. With someone like you, what I would say, what is the number one thing you want to accomplish in 2021? The one thing. Yes, you can do all of those things, and I'm sure you will, but I want to know one thing that you want to accomplish in 2021.
One thing would be financial independence, aka relying on my family, my parents, for rent.
Okay, so that's a great start. So now what we're going to put on that board is what's going to help you become financially independent. So you just named, you can do violin, any of those things that you named, can they bring in an income right now?
Not right now.
Not right now. But they could.
Of course, if I decided that was what I should do and dive into it, I believe that I could get an income from any of the multitude of interests I have.
Right now, though, I'm not talking about, oh, you have to finish something in order to get that income. I'm talking about if you next week said, I can go get hired at a jazz club to play the violin or one of those other things, could you do that right now?
I could.
Okay, because your goal right now is to be financially free. So, and it doesn't sound like you're a girl who wants to go work at Forever 21 to start paying it to pay her bills. So,
well, it wouldn't cover.
Right. So you just want to have a bit of financial freedom. because you are still young and you are still going to school. So nobody expects you to be able to completely rent an apartment, pay on your car, your insurance, medical insurance, car insurance. That's a lot for a 23-year-old to take on right now because you are so young, right? So we want to take steps to which one of those things is going to give you the biggest financial freedom, maybe not right now, in the next couple of years. That's what we want to ask ourselves. And if when you decide that answer, that's what you're going to put up on that vision board. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? So all those multiple things that you mentioned to me, one of them is probably going to be enough to pay for the life that you want, which is financial independence. Correct?
Right.
Okay. One of those. So that's the one, that's the first thing we're going to put on the board. And then we're going to take the steps on how to get to that, which once you start visualizing it, certain people will pop up, certain opportunities will start coming your way. That's what the whole visualization comes into play. That allows all of those other doors to start opening up for you, because you can't sit in the house and have your dreams manifest. We all know that. You still have to put the work behind it, right? So, but that's manifestation. It's zoning in. I want to be financially independent from my parents in the next 3 years. And I know that if I focus and finish school in the next 2 years, I'm going to allow to get a job that's going to pay me X amount of dollars that's going to allow for me to be financially free.
Thank you so much, Miss Jennifer.
You're welcome. Yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know.
Let the people know where they can find you and, you know, what you have coming this year. And, you know.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram. My handle is @grayandglowing, and I am in the process of starting a YouTube channel, which will talk about my life, my lifestyle, my marriage, businesses that we have. I'm also a grandmother, pretty much just my whole lifestyle. And I'm teaching women at any age how to design a life that they love. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll learn about all the new stuff that I have coming in 2021.
You just added more value than you may even know. And for those of y'all who are just, I don't know if y'all are here or what, don't forget that you have access to this replay to go back and watch this. Like I've never finished a vision board in one day, you know, so you can go back from square one and you can replay this every year.
And you can always add stuff to your vision board, because throughout the year, you'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do that too. And then just put it up there. Mm-hmm. There's no rules, you guys. Honestly, there really isn't. You just do what you want. Put as many pictures up there as you want, and you'll start finding the ones that'll resonate with you and that'll stick with you, and the ones that you're going to really focus on. Because at first, it should be fun. It should be like, what is the dream life that I want to create? That's how it really should be. And you put all those pictures down, and then you'll start learning how to kind of take away and add, and then it'll become very intentional. But when you're first starting out, put it all up there.
Right.
Create your dream life, and then it'll change from there.
I just want too many lives, I guess. I don't know.
No, but you know what? You're young enough. You're gonna have so many different lives. Trust me. When I was 20, I don't want anything to do with what I had at 20 that I have at 40. And I'm sure at 60, I'm going to be looking back at 40 like I was wasting my time. You know, everything about life is a transition and learning. So if you just look at it that way, nothing seems so serious. It's like you're here to learn. So learn it, experience it, enjoy it. If you love it, great. If you don't, you tried it, try the next. You won't fail. There's no failing unless you just give up.
That is true. Well, thank you so much. I cannot wait to bring you on in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
And